here we go. In those days we were single, and we lived them one by one. Now we hardly see them, they don't walk, they run. But I got plenty left, I've set my sight on. Don't wait up, leave the light on, I'll be home soon. 'Cause I've been left for dead before, but I still fight on. Don't wait up, leave the light on, I'll be home soon.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome once again to Thursday night Signature Sounds 25th anniversary live stream series. We have been doing this all fall and winter and having such a good time visiting with Signature Sounds artists past and present. It started back in October, I believe, and I was counting up today. We've done 18 of these live streams, and this is the last one. And we decided the best way to end this series is to look to the future with two brand new artists for Signature Sounds, Rachel Baiman and Matthew Fowler. Both are going to join us tonight for sets of music, and we're super excited about that. Once again, with this series, the reason we're doing all this live streaming is because nobody can tour right now. And this is one way to keep live music going, and the artists sure appreciate your tips. 100% of the tips tonight will go to Rachel and Matthew. So let's bring to the screen for the first set for this evening. Rachel Baiman's here. Rachel.
Hey.
Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you, Jim?
Good, good. Rachel's joining us from her home in Madison, Tennessee.
That's right.
Which is kind of like a neighborhood of Nashville, right?
Yeah, it's kind of right next to East Nashville. It's sort of like the next, it's the place everyone's moving now that East Nashville's too expensive. So
there you go. Well, one of the things I love that you've done is you wrote on your last EP, you wrote a theme song for Madison, Tennessee. You wrote a song by that title that you sing as a duet with Molly Tuttle, who I believe is another resident, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could take credit. That's actually a John Hartford tune. But
is it?
Yeah, but it's kind of cooler because I actually live 2 doors down from John Hartford's old house. And so he kind of wrote it as like a theme song for the neighborhood, and he never really recorded it. It's really not very well known. That's probably why you hadn't realized, because it's not on any of his albums or anything. And so it's like, I thought it was so cool that he had, it feels like having one of my musical heroes' perspective on my own neighborhood. So
that's amazing. You're in the same neighborhood. Do you feel John's ghost at all ever when you're playing music?
Well, a lot of our neighbors, knew him and were kind of part of that community. He used to throw like a really big party on our block, and so all the neighbors would have gone to party with him and stuff. And the people that own his house now are really generous about showing us around, and like when we have people visit, we can kind of show them his house, and so it's a really special place.
Amazing. That is so awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, we are really excited to welcome you to Signature Sounds.
I'm just thrilled to be a part of it. I mean, so many of my favorite bands have come out of this label, and I'm so grateful for the support and just having such a cool team to work with. And it's been feeling like there's not very many times in the music business where you're like, wow, this is all going great. So it's really it's been really exceptional, and I'm just really grateful.
Yeah, well, we're really excited to work with you. It's kind of amazing of this little period of time. We've never actually met beyond the world of Zoom,
I know.
Is just incredible.
There's a lot of people I see almost every day now that I haven't actually met in person ever.
Right. Well, you've got a great album called Cycles coming out June 11th, and the first single, Jokes on Me, is out now. And this album, I just love it from the minute I heard it. I was just really just love it. It's got this vibe about it that's just a little different. I don't know what to say, but you actually went a long way to make this album, right? You recorded it in Australia, which is, tell us how that came about.
Yeah, well, thanks, first of all, for your kind words about the record. And I wonder if that kind of vibe that you're hearing is the exact kind of magical vibe that I was seeking in some of the music that I loved that was coming out of that scene in Melbourne, Australia. There was some bit of like edge and rawness, a kind of grunge that was a part of the folk scene there in certain bands that I was hearing, that I was just so taken by and really wanted to understand more about how that music was happening. And I ended up getting to work with Olivia Halley, who has an amazing band called OPEP. I've been a huge fan of that band for many years. I mean, they're not that old of a band, but I just fell so in love with their songwriting and their really just fresh approach to kind of a rootsy sound. And so Liv and I got to have a co-write here in Nashville, and we kind of had that magical connection where you're both feeling super musically inspired. You come up with a song that you think is really cool and the ideas are just flowing. And I guess it's kind of like an amazing first date or something where you just like, oh my God, this is, my life has changed. Anyway, that first co-write we did was the title track Cycles. And after we wrote that song together, I asked her if she would be willing to co-produce the whole record with me. And she said yes. And from there, we started making the plan to record over in Melbourne between some festival dates that I had. And we ended up going to a studio that she had worked in before, and kind of like a converted warehouse. The whole thing was quite indie, but in the good ways, like not in any way that takes away musically, but just in kind of like the openness in terms of ideas. Like nothing was off the table, and there was such a kind of, there's all these kind of new elements that were introduced and all of these regular elements that weren't even thought of. Because I think in Nashville, there's so much session work. So you kind of end up having this like blueprint of how everything's made. Okay, you play the guitar like this, you play the fiddle like this, you play the drums like this, go, done, and everything's kind of done for efficiency. And that it's so different in Melbourne, they just don't have that sensibility. So it just made for a total open playing field, which was really fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a departure from your previous work, which is great. It's such a great progression.
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, you made it a while ago, and it's going to come out in June, which is awesome.
Yes,
and then you get to go
that's
back
so
on the road. But you've had the coolest, I think, pandemic project.
I feel so validated by your interest in my pandemic project.
I guess it might be my dream somehow, but I'm not quite handy enough. But
no, we can talk. We'll talk. I'm sure you can do
it. All right. Yeah. So here it is.
This is my 1958 Shasta Air Flight camper, which I've been renovating and restoring, and it's finally done. So we took our maiden voyage in it, my husband and I, the other week, and it's great. Super cozy. Definitely beats a tent, I will say. Much more fun.
Yeah. No kidding. No kidding. How long did that take you to do?
Well, we bought the camper in August, or I guess early September. We went on a big road trip last summer and met up with some friends who are have a converted van, and we went camping because it's been such a time that every time I've been able to see friends, I've had to be totally outside. And so
sure,
been spending a lot more time doing outdoorsy things. And anyway, we met up with these friends in Wyoming, and when it was time to go to bed, they got in their cozy van and were warm, and I got in our tent and I was freezing, and there was like bear noises and moose, and I was just like, oh, I hate this. I love being outside. I love backpacking. I love, I just don't like actually being in a tent. So that at that point, I was
problem
like,
solved.
Yeah, I was like, I know what we got to do. So I bought this, and we got it in August in Wisconsin, and I basically spent since then, and it kind of just got done about a month ago, I'd say.
Nice. Well, we were kind of hoping you'd bring it with you to Green River Festival.
Yeah, I know. I just I just know too much about the realities of tour to try to bring a camper with me.
To haul a camper along with you.
I've done too much road dogging to think that's a good idea. These things can only go like 60 miles an hour because at the time they were built, that was the speed limit. So there's no like highway coasting.
Right.
And,
there you go.
I have a pretty big band now, so I don't think they'd be too happy if I made them all squeeze into the trailer.
Well, we look forward to seeing you, finally meeting you, and joining us at the end of the summer.
I can't wait.
Yeah. And Cycle's coming out June 11th, and let's get to your little show here.
All right. Thanks so much, Jim.
All right. Rachel Baiman playing for us today here.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to Signature Sounds New Faces Night. Thanks so much for having us. My name is Rachel Baiman, and this is my very good friend and longtime bandmate, Cy Winstanley, on the guitar and vocals. And we're stoked to be a part of this live stream and considering it a preamble to when we can play for you in real life. So we're going to play a bunch of songs off of the new album coming out in June on Signature Sounds. The album's called Cycles, and this first song is called Wyoming Wildflowers. I'm sending this one out to Jim because I think this is his favorite one. I'm not sure. That's the vibe I was getting. Well, I've covered some ground working this job, but I never do stop to look for long. So the fields out west caught my surprise. The color comes to you when you open up your eyes. But how come nobody told me? How come nobody showed me Wyoming wildflowers? But these good old boys, they shout and scream about what the colors on this earth mean. What is the color so proud of? White ain't the color, just the absence of. How come nobody told them? How come nobody showed them Wyoming wildflowers? Yellow is the new hope, blue is New Orleans, orange is the ripest fruit. Red is the cheek of a child still at it, purple is the calm. Doubt and shame and disappointment, what is it you're running from? If you're looking for something worth fighting for, take a person to the rays of the sun. Don't say nobody told you. Don't say nobody showed you Wyoming wildflowers. Yellow is the new hope, blue is New Orleans, orange is the ripest fruit. Red is the cheek of a child still lighting, purple is the calm of made you a bouquet of dandelions. Stood in the silence after the sirens. Made you a bouquet of dandelions. Stood in the silence after the sirens. Made you a bouquet of dandelions. I stood in the silence after the sirens. Made you a bouquet of dandelions. Stood in the silence after the sirens. That one, I wrote that song the day after that crazy like white supremacy rally in Charlottesville, and at the time I happened to be out in Wyoming for my friend Shelby Means' wedding, and it was such a weird mix of emotions because it was like such a beautiful
wedding day and ceremony, and I was in this gorgeous spot, and then hearing this news, it was just like, what is this disconnect? Like, when you're lucky enough to be in one of those environments, you're like, what is it? What do these people, why are they so angry, you know? All right, here is a song called Joke's on Me. This one just came out a couple weeks ago, so it's exciting. You can listen to it, the recording, which side's playing on. We made it, we recorded this whole album over in Melbourne, Australia, and this cool converted warehouse in called Purple Wayne Studios.
Who was Wayne? Did we find out who Wayne was?
I don't know who Wayne was, but it's not Purple Rain, I think is the main point.
Maybe that's just it.
That's all.
I get it.
Okay, so here we go. Joke's on me.
Joke's on me.
1, 2, 3. I want too much, I need too much. I try too hard and I lose my trust. Don't you know? The joke's on me. I work too hard and I lose my shine from chasing down every goddamn dime. Don't you know? The joke's on me. 'Cause every door I kick down leaves me living towards the promise of good. And every ceiling shattered leaves broken glass together where I stood. It's coming on strong, it's coming up with sorrow. I lose every day to tomorrow. There you were, it was made to last, but I was rough and I moved too fast. Don't you know? The joke's on me. I want it all and I want it now. Well, then my friend is a losing battle. Don't you know? The joke's on me. 'Cause once I sought out beauty, now I will give anything a try. Pieces of myself like any hooker on the street to passers-by. It's coming on strong, it's coming up with sorrow. I lose every day to tomorrow. Cause every door I kick down leaves me living towards the promise of good. Every ceiling shattered, it's broken glass together where I stood. It's coming on strong, it's coming up with sorrow. I lose every day to tomorrow. It's coming on strong, it's coming up with sorrow. I lose every day till tomorrow. All right, fun.
One of the great things about recording an album in Melbourne, Australia, is that there is just so much good coffee everywhere. Like, no matter where you are, the standard of coffee is so ridiculously good, and we were just jacked the whole time.
There was a coffee shop right by the studio.
Oh.
Remember Chibi?
Yeah,
Chibi?
so
So
good.
So delicious. One of the bad things about being stuck at home all the time is that there's not a lot to do besides make and drink coffee. So I've been like, man, I'm really having trouble sleeping. Maybe you shouldn't drink 6 shots of espresso every day.
Well, yeah,
Rachel.
George, Rachel's husband, is like a coffee
The coffee
master.
is flowing in this
Yeah.
house, and I need to maybe calm down a little bit. I'm gonna work on that. It's a little, what do you call it? Resolution. New life resolution.
I don't know if now's the time for resolution.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind. I'm gonna keep going. All right, we're gonna do a song called "No Good Time for Dying." I wrote this about my grandmother passing away early last year, before the pandemic. Thankfully, she missed that horrible phase, but I feel like, you know, it's also kind of in honor of all of the elderly people that we've lost this year, and a lot of them in really unfortunate circumstances, you know, not being able to visit or kind of being really isolated due to the pandemic. So kind of just have a moment of, I don't know, sadness, but gratefulness for them. And okay, that's it. Yes. When she fell and broke her hip, they had to put her in a nursing care. Now she can't even take a shit alone. She says she hates her life, she'll be locked up here forever. Vegetables, this prison ain't a home. If she had died a year ago, she could have missed this altogether. She could have taken pride right to her grave. But it seems she missed that mile mark when old age turns against you. There ain't all that much left of her to say. There's no good time for dying. Golden years and wishing it would end. Money saved you wish you would have spent. You hurt me lonely at the end. I'll come to you crying, 'cause there's no good time for dying. The people that you love, well, they're always disappointing. But what you need is not to need at all. There's no way of asking them to turn and look away. No way to hide their pity when they see you fall. There's no good time for dying. Golden years and wishing it would end. Money saved you wish you would have spent. Hurt me lonely again. I'll come to you crying. There's no good time for dying. You wanna see that sunset. You wanna see that golden hour. You better leave before it gets too dark. You're coming to this world just a kicking and a screaming. It seems you leave it very much the same. All right, that one's for Sydney. So I got to meet Sydney. She's quite a character.
Real character.
She was a firecracker.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I only had one dinner with her at the table, but she was such a vocal presence.
You never didn't know what she thought.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get the banjo out. This is a song called "Ships in the Night," and actually, I feel like this is one that we really worked up together. Sorry, when I first wrote it.
Yeah.
And I wrote this. It's kind of funny now because I wrote this about like my husband's also a touring musician, and this is kind of a sad song about always being apart and in different cities and stuff, and how we both like really want to do our own thing, but then we're sad, and so then when we were just like forced to be together constantly all year, this song kind of becomes a little ironic.
Ships in the harbor.
I was like, ships in the dock.
And the dock, yeah.
All right. Hopefully we can be sad about being on tour again soon. If I move too fast down this, move too slow and you're already gone. If I get it just right, I can hear you passing by and hum along. Ships in the night. Ships in the night. Never on the same course, baby. Won't you shine your light my way? On those nights when you are near, I can feel I can barely see. I only wish our sails would tangle, and I can't remember why it was I wanted to be free. Ships in the night. Ships in the night. Never on the same course, baby. Won't you shine your light? Like any to the beat. My work's the kind of love I can't betray. Then I fear we both know the consequence of getting in each other's way. Ships in the night. Ships in the night. Never on the same course, baby. Won't you shine your light? Never on the same course, baby. Won't you shine your light my way? All right. Maybe we should do Young Love and then Colorado.
Yeah.
Kind of finger picking together. Well, I'm really excited to be joining the Signature Sounds family. I feel like a lot of my favorite bands have been on the Signature Sounds label, so it's really exciting to be a part of it. I used to go bananas over some Crooked Still.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was Crooked Still super fan. I mean, I
Yeah.
still am, but they're just less active. But yeah, I was like, I would have driven very far to see a Crooked Still show.
Yeah.
Joy Kills Sorrow. So many cool bands.
Yeah, they were both those bands were some bands that I listened to before I moved to America from New Zealand, and I don't know, I didn't really know what America was, and like all these bands and all these things were just like these weird visions, and this idea of Nashville and everything, and they were part of it.
Did it live up to your imagination?
It did, in a different way. It did, yeah, of course. You know, you just build up such an image of what something's gonna be like.
It's
and
just you just like you arrive in the United States and Crooked Still's playing in the airport. And
Yeah.
so you walk in. That'd be awesome. Actually, what happened is you arrived in the United States and I picked you up from the airport, and we had like a huge New Year's party, and then you and Vanessa passed out upstairs because she was so jet lagged.
Yeah. It's pretty epic.
All right, this is a song called Young Love. No, it's getting clear. I'll calm and steady. And I know that you've been weird, giving something too heavy. Like a bird in a storm, I'll lie steady. If I were to cash in my chips, there'd be plenty. Young love is growing up, it's getting older. Young love ain't gonna do what it's told anymore. Young love is acting up, it's throwing us all around. Young love is slashing out, but I stand my ground. Know that you plant a tree, giving one seed to bury. If the power went out, you'd have a light ready. Just a bundle of nerves, oh, spaghetti. If I were to cash in my chips, it'd just be petty. Young love is growing up, just getting older. Young love ain't gonna do what it's told anymore. Young love is acting up, it's throwing us all around. Young love is slashing out, but I stand my ground. Young love is growing up, it's getting older. Young love ain't gonna do what it's told anymore. Young love is acting up, it's throwing us all around. Young love is flashing out, but I stand my ground. Cannot burn with desire, I'll come and steady. Sometimes I might try to lift something too heavy. Or my thinking of life, Lordy, heavy. Still not cashing your chips, I know you're ready. All right. I feel like we went there on that. Well, I should say you went there on that solo. It's
I went
awesome.
somewhere. I don't know where it was.
Okay, we got one more song, and thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for having me on the show. And looking forward to hearing Matthew Fowler, who we are sharing this stream with. It's been so long since I really had to, tune the guitar, like for.
Yeah, you forget. It's like with my pedal board, like I haven't touched it in so long. It's like, how does this
How does
thing
it work?
even
How does this that? What happens if I do? No. All right, this song's called "When You Bloom," or I call it Colorado, and it's a song I wrote for my little sister who, I was trying to get her to convince her to not move to Colorado because she used to live in Nashville with me, but apparently the song wasn't good enough because she's gone. All right, and once again, Cywin Stanley. You can find him at cywinstanley.com. Is that right?
That is about right, yeah. CY.
And my name is Rachel Baiman, and you can find me through Signature Sounds. All right. I'm not very good at wearing colors. You're not very good at holding back. When we go out walking together, folks must think you're with the man in black. Now where you going without me? Why are you going so soon? We've got so much ground to cover. I wanna be there when you bloom. I wanna be there when you bloom. If you're gonna run up the mountain and back to the bottom, you don't have to do it alone. I remember every ugly feeling that you ever got. 15 hours to Colorado. I like to let you do the talking for me. You're so much better at that kind of stuff. I just smile and shake hands, nod my head until we've both had enough. Now where you going without me? Why are you going so soon? We've got so much ground to cover. I wanna be there when you bloom. I wanna be there when you bloom. If you're gonna run up the mountain and back to the bottom, you don't have to do it alone. I remember every ugly feeling you ever got. 15 hours to Colorado. You never understood my music. I never understood why you climb walls, but you still come out to see me play. And you know I'll catch you if ever you fall. If you're gonna run up the mountain and back to the bottom, you don't have to do it alone. I remember every ugly feeling that you ever got. 15 hours to Colorado. If you're gonna run up the mountain and back to the bottom, you don't have to do it alone. I remember every ugly feeling that you ever got. 15 hours to Colorado. All right, thank you so much. See you in person
Thank you.
next time.
That's Rachel Baiman and Cywin Serwin here. This evening, it's the Signature Sounds 25th anniversary series, New Faces Night. We're wrapping up a whole season of shows, taking a look back at Signature Sounds 25 years, but now we're looking forward with Rachel Baiman and our next artist, Matthew Fowler. I do want to remind you that tonight, your tips go to the artist. Tonight, 100% of the tips will be split by Rachel and Matthew. And so we appreciate if you hit the tip jar, especially on this, the very last night of the series. So let's bring in Matthew Fowler, all the way from Colorado.
Hey, how's it going?
Matthew, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's awesome to be here.
Excellent. Well, welcome to Signature Sounds. Welcome to Colorado. You like just got there a few days ago.
Yeah,
right?
I just moved. I think this weekend will be like, I think the third weekend that we've been here. But like the second weekend I went, doing like crazy snow hikes and stuff. So I'm trying to make the most out of it. I think this past year has been so like weird, for everyone, and I've been like so isolated and kind of in my own world that it feels nice to be in a place that like, I can drive and go see crazy stuff and be like the inner mountain man. I think I've always, wanted to be.
Yeah, you've always been kind of a warm climate guy, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I'm from Florida. From Florida originally, so it's literally snowing outside right now, which is mind-blowing to me. It's so beautiful. I can't stop staring outside. So it's really cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's supposed to snow tonight in Western Mass too, which we're not quite as excited about as you are. But what are you going to do?
Yeah, my car is going to be freaking out a little bit. So I don't think it's used to it. So
well, we're so excited to have you on Signature Sounds. As Rachel
Likewise.
was playing just a few minutes ago, I realized that I think there's an excellent chance that neither you nor Rachel were born when I started this label back in 1994, which is just a crazy thing to think about.
what month did you start it? Do you remember?
September.
My birthday's in June, so I was 94 is when I was born. 94.
Well, there you go. There you go. I knew I was close.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Excellent.
Jim, I'm super grateful to be on the label. It feels like it feels like an amazing just chapter to my life. It's something I've been working towards for as long as I've been working towards things. So thanks for having me. Truly.
Well, you've had an interesting journey, not like a completely linear journey. You made your first album quite a while ago, right? When you were a teenager.
Yeah, so I'm 26 now. I made my first one. I put it out when I was 19, and that was kind of my first foray really into just figuring out what music is, as a life and as a career and all that sort of stuff. But my dad's a chef, and growing up, he had a restaurant, and I started playing in the corner of the restaurant when I was like 14 or 15. And my mom would like drive me to bars and drop me off, and I'd play like for the weekend and come back. And so I've been doing this, I've been working, and music has really been the only kind of living I've ever made. So, with Signature Sounds and all that kind of stuff, it feels like I'm finally like, people are listening now, and it's like,
that's right.
It feels really good. So that's awesome.
Well, last, I believe it was October, your manager, Stephen, sent me a record, which is called Grief We Gave Our Mother.
Yep.
And
my mom is watching right now.
Oh, right. Hello.
Geraldine.
She also makes a cameo on the record.
She does
very nicely. I just fell hard for your record, and
Thank you.
It came at that time as winter was descending here, and it was just a really dark period with all the election stuff.
Oh yeah.
Stressful times, and that album just became an oasis.
Man, that's awesome.
I just can't wait to share it with the world. It's still going to be a little while yet.
I know. I've been sitting on it for a while, so it feels really good to know, and especially with you guys. I mean, I can't think of a better place that to call it home. I'm so glad. Like the first talks that we had about all this stuff wasn't really about business; it was about the music, and that's oddly hard to find in the music industry sometimes. It's a weird place.
It's a beautiful record, and I know you took your time with it. It was a record that kind of evolved over time. It wasn't like a one studio session and you're gone. Tell us a little bit about the making of the album.
Well, I actually moved to Gainesville I grew up in Orlando, and I moved to Gainesville like 5 or 6 years ago or something with the intention of finishing this record. And that kind of turned into me like learning how to do audio engineering and do all sorts of video stuff, which you'll kind of see in the set that we'll play. But yeah, it kind of took its time, and sort of by design. I mean, I was in a rush, but then I kind of slowed down and realized that, I think the songs were worth kind of taking the time to sort of sit through. And I went through a bunch of different iterations of how to play them, and I played a lot of them live for a long time. And I got to tour with these amazing people, these sisters who sing harmonies, and every iteration kind of like changed the way that I perceived it. And it went from being this really like, this really like me and a guitar thing to this kind of larger idea, and I think I'm sort of typecast as like the guy with a guitar because it's just what I have most of the time, but I love all sorts of kinds of music. And I think with this record, it was the first time that I was really able to put on like a sonic hat, and I worked with amazing producer Shane Leonard, who lives in Wisconsin in Eau Claire, and a bunch of great musicians out there, and we really like kind of went to town on it and made it big and bold in a way that I'm excited about. It's like a very dynamic record, which is my favorite thing about music. I love dynamics, and I love like weird stuff going on, and I think we really did a good job of marrying enough ideas together that it feels like its own thing, which I'm really proud of, truly. So I'm really glad you like it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, oh yeah, love it, and just as I mentioned, can't wait to share it with the world. It's going to be a little bit longer, but the plan's coming together, and it's going to happen. And
Yeah.
Like I was saying to Rachel, I've never actually met you either.
I know, it's crazy.
Through Zoom, which is crazy.
It is.
I can't imagine signing an artist that you've never met. But
we have like at least 25 beers to go through next time we see each other over the course of however long. But
that's definitely going to happen.
Perfect.
Well, Matthew, thanks for chatting tonight. You recorded a beautiful little set for us, so let's hear it.
I hope it goes well.
All right.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Matthew Fowler. I'm super excited to be playing some music for you guys. I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for spending your Thursday afternoon with me and Rachel. I want to thank Signature Sounds for having me on tonight's show, and also just kind of in general. They're an awesome label, and I am beyond excited to release my next record with them. I think it's going to be really great for everyone. So that's super exciting. So today, I just moved recently. I moved from Atlanta, Georgia to Aurora, Colorado, right outside of Denver. And, we've been here for maybe 2 weeks. So I just kind of thought this would be a cool way to kind of show off the house a little bit, change the scene for each song, and also kind of test some acoustics out in the different rooms. So I hope you enjoy the songs, and yeah, I'll be in the chats too. So type some stuff out, and I'll be there watching and making fun of myself. So enjoy the show, enjoy the songs, and thank you again to Signature Sounds for having me. Thanks for being here, and yeah, this first song is called Beginners, and here it goes. When you are young and love's a dream, floating through the forest tenderly, and there are branches along the way that sometimes make us go astray. But you know that it's the truth when I say that I love you. I could never tell a lie. We are beginners, you and I.
So you came inside and you slammed the door. You stole my food just for the taste. And that time you said it wasn't worth it to you. I stayed with arms around your waist. Although I'm scared we're way too young, we could never say we are done. As tears of love and pain will cry, we are beginners, you and I. You and I. You and I. Oh. You and I.
Welcome to our music room, the jam room, if you will. This is where we have all of our instruments set up. We found a piano on Craigslist recently, which is really cool. It sounds awful. We have to get it tuned in like 5 weeks, and that's a whole other story. My roommate, Reed, who's also filming this current angle, he's a drummer, and so we have a full drum kit over here, and there's a lot of boxes. We're still unpacking some stuff, but I'm really excited about what this room's going to be used for in the future. But this next song is called Everything That I Could, and here it goes.
Lovely lady, come on and save me. Can't you see I need some relief? Take me slowly away from the main streets. There's nobody that I wanna meet, but I'm so tired, but I don't know why. I've done nothing, but I swear I've tried. I'm still hoping someday I might. So lovely lady, tell me plainly, is this the best that I'm gonna be? Don't fight, sit tight, 'cause sometimes the starlight, oh, it shines upon what you need to see. I feel then I tried for good. I did everything that I could. Conscience heavy, man, it weighed me down. So I went inside myself and I looked around. And I'll play you the songs that I found.
Welcome to our dining room. I really appreciate you sticking around this long in the set. I hope you've been enjoying yourself. So, the thing about our dining room is that it's usually where we eat all of our food. And the thing about food is that it usually costs money to buy and make. So to those of you who are in the position to tip us tonight, Rachel and I really appreciate it. It goes a long way to making our lives a little more normal. So thank you very much. This next song is called Blankets. I have a version of it on Spotify and wherever you listen to music, but I'm really excited because the version that we're coming out with for the next record is a little different than this one, and it's got some cool stuff going on. But I hope you enjoy this version, and thanks for being here.
I can't wait to leave this place, but all I do is settle down. A man cannot be heard behind a closed door. He's gotta take his words to town. So when I was young, I fell in love, and I've been falling ever since, with a way to speak my mind, with broken English and crooked rhyme. Like lovers loving underneath the blankets, late night talks with fathers drenched in wine. And I ache to venture out and join that circus, oh, of people learning how to feel alive. So I'm thankful to the poets who gave me ways to feel inside, frames of reference, songs of passion, to never run and to never hide. And it has been a long time coming, but a change is here. The reasons all have run away, there's nothing left to fear. Walk into the corner of the station, take the train that offers me a ride, 'cause I know that this is only the beginning of a journey that'll stay with me for life. It's a journey that'll stay with me for life. And it'll stay with me. Better stay with me.
This next song is called Going Nowhere. It's a song about a girl who didn't want to go anywhere with me. And I thought the most appropriate place to play the song would be in the bathtub. So here goes.
I'm going nowhere. That's the lie I told to you. And your eyes told me you knew that we were going nowhere. So here's to hoping that we find each other's best. We stay strong through the rest instead of choking. Here's to hoping. I held you even though you don't believe in me sometimes. You kissed me even though I don't believe in Jesus Christ. But I feel God inside the songs I hear sometimes. Na 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 on the table, I had nothing there to hide, but you left me cold and blind, and you put it all on the table. We're growing older, I have come to understand that it never goes as planned, and I try again, 'cause we're growing older. I held you even though you don't believe in me sometimes. You kissed me even though I don't believe in Jesus Christ, but I feel God inside the songs I hear sometimes. So I'm going nowhere. That's the lie I told to you, and I hope one day it's true. But for now we are going nowhere.
All right, we're in the kitchen. This will conclude the house tour of our Colorado home. Thanks for being here for the set. Thanks for listening. This will be my last song, and this song's called I'm Still Trying, and I hope you like it. Here we go.
It sings of the memories, how they tug and cling. I lay listening. I could touch my past, feel the heavy air, hear the branches scratch. I lay looking back. I remember when I used to drive right over. I remember to pull me closer. I was traded for a cigarette in a bed you shared with an older friend. I remember all the years I yearned for closure. I'm still trying. I knew why I barely call. I'm short with you. I shut my eyes and kid you grew. So I've learned with time all the bonds you build either live or die. I've come to carve away my pride. 'Cause I remember when you used to call me brother. I remember used to climb on my shoulders. We would lay out in the sun to dry, have a heart to heart from time to time. I remember all the grief we gave our mother.
All right, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for listening. Thanks for sticking around for the whole set. Thanks for tipping. Thanks to Signature Sounds. Thanks to Rachel. And please look me up if you liked what you heard. I'm around wherever you listen to things. So thanks very much, and hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye.
I'm getting you some B-roll. That's a good man.
Matthew Fowler, live from his home in Aurora, Colorado. Sounded great tonight. It's New Faces Night to wrap up Signature Sound's 25th anniversary. We're going to keep it going, year 26, with two fabulous new artists, Rachel Baiman and Matthew Fowler. Rachel's album's coming out June 11th. You can pre-order it now at signaturesounds.com. You can check out her song, The Joke's on Me, which is already out. And you can look for Matthew Fowler music coming up very soon, probably about a month away or so. And that is going to do it for this series. Thank you so much for tuning in every Thursday night and for all the tips. One more plug for Matthew and Rachel tonight. If you can throw a few bucks in the tip jar, it would be greatly appreciated for those guys. But we really appreciate your generosity all winter long as we've rolled through this series. It's been amazing. I have to give a big thanks to the Signature Sounds team, who are just incredible, making this whole thing happen. So fantastic. Thanks so much to Kelsey O'Brien, Flora Reed, Philip Price, Jerry Ann Butler, Kate Simpson. Thanks so much to Georgia Teensma and Lynn Bertrand, and to Jared Libby, who has engineered all these shows and made them sound great, and figured out the technology way back last March when everything fell apart of how to do this whole live stream thing. Really appreciate all the great team effort making these things happen. This is going to be it for our live stream series. We do have some live stream shows that we're sharing with the mandolin. Some great ones coming up if you check the schedule at signaturesounds.com. You can also check our archives for all the shows we've done this past year. There's 50-something shows in the archives with a lot of your favorites. So signaturesounds.com. Check out all of those shows. And we're going to get back to live music. Believe it or not, live music is coming back. The Black Birch Vineyard series starts up on May 16th with Jeffrey Folkalt. There's still some tickets left for that one. Ryan Montbleu is the week after. There might be a couple left for that. And Suitcase Junket and Dar Williams also performing. Those shows are already sold out. Thank you very much. And don't forget also that Green River Festival is coming back at the end of the summer this year. God willing, we'll be out there at Franklin County Fairgrounds with a great lineup. And we hope you'll join us out there. So thanks so much for tuning in tonight and all winter long. And we'll see you soon.